What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Let's Go Show. Today, I am joined by my friend Mya, also known as Society Made the Joker, OTP Mya, and then
Yes.
or OTP Joker. My shout out your handles real quick.
OTP OTP Joker, aka Society Made the Joker. Boom.
Fire.
It's
And
just
then
that
we're
simple.
we're also back with editor Gio. Gio is back in the cut. And today we got an exciting show, exciting heated topics to talk about going on in the world of entertainment. First off, I want to start by talking about one of the biggest movies of the year, probably kind of like as we alluded to in the previous podcast, the most, I guess, the sequel with the most stakes on it, Avatar: The Way of Water. A lot of people have been talking about this movie. Finally got the chance to go watch it, and honestly, Gio, you've seen it. Do you think Avatar: The Way of Water lived up to the hype?
Um, I think it freaking did. I think it did a lot, man. Avatar 2 was really, really good. The start was like a little draggy for me, a little drag ass, but when it got to the part where you're at that water, like I told you last time, I just wanted to see that water because I want to drink it. But I didn't think I was gonna want to live in it too. I'm convinced, bro, that James Cameron found these Navi people. He found Pandora World, and he's just hiding it from society, and he's just going there and making these movies, and there's no effects at all, and it's all just a big lie because there's no way that was effects. That was unfreaking believable in terms of CGI. It was
Dude, I would
ridiculous.
at this point, I really wouldn't be surprised. James Cameron is James Cameron, and he's gonna do what he does. So I literally would not be surprised if he found this like world, and he's just not telling us about it, and he's just making $1 billion movies after $1 billion
Yeah, no,
movies
that's what
around
happened.
the world.
That's legit. I believe that. I'm not. It's not even a theory anymore. That guy lives in Pandora World.
Yeah, no. So, dude, when it came to me watching this movie, man, like my initial reaction coming out of the theater was that this movie didn't feel like Avatar 2. It felt like Avatar 1. Stay with me here. It felt like Avatar 1, and then the first Avatar was like a prequel to this one. Because this movie truly felt like the beginning of a franchise, and it felt like something that sets up the future and all of the other coming movies. And unlike the first film, in this movie, the children are the main characters, which is that came to a true shock to me. And we barely got Jake, we barely got Natiri. Obviously, they're in the movie, they play a role in the film, but the priority in this movie is the children and the way they're developing these characters. Loak, who's the main son, that is the future of this franchise. That is the main character of this story. In this movie, he started off as kind of like the outcast, misunderstood son, super reckless, and then by the end of the movie, like he loses his older brother, and now he's kind of set up to be the future. He's going to be the one that has to, I guess, lead this family after Jake. Another thing too, again, kind of like you said, everyone's said this, it's a visual spectacle. The movie looks beautiful. I mean, we all knew this movie was gonna look beautiful. I don't know who was
Based
shocked.
off the trailer.
Yeah, yeah,
Trailer
like
alone.
so when I saw other early reviews, I was like, we know this movie looks beautiful. We know it's gonna look beautiful. We know it's gonna be game changing. But how's the story? And for me, I thought this movie was more focused on world building and just living in the world of Pandora than it was on, telling the story. There are parts in this film where we spend 20 to 30 minutes with like a random whale, and the whale plays, the whale comes up clutch and plays an important part of the story. But it wasn't just that part of the film. Like there were so many parts in this movie where it just puts you in a spot and you just stay there, and it's just, again, it's showing you again the creativity of the world and what went into the creation of Pandora. It's super detailed and it's super creative, and it did a lot to immerse you in the movie. Like when I watched this film, especially watching it in 3D. 3D is dead. No one watches movies in 3D anymore.
Never.
But watching this in 3D was such a great experience, and the movie is like three hours and 10 minutes. So I was shocked, because usually when it comes to 3D movies, like my eyes hurt after a while. My eyes did not hurt after this. It looked great. It was a visual spectacle, great world building, great setup. Super, like after people commonly make the joke of like the first Avatar movie is kind of forgettable. No one remembers the names of the characters. After this movie, it got me to love all of the main characters that focused on, from Loak to, of course, you gotta love Jake, you gotta love Natiri. Um, I feel so much more invested in these characters. And now moving forward, I'm excited to see, like, I'm ready for Avatar 3. I'm ready for Avatar 4. I'm ready for Avatar 5. And bro, they're just shooting these movies back to back to back. It actually came up today that James Cameron emailed, the government of the country where they filmed, and he emailed them for them to like let them shoot during COVID in 2020 because the kids were like aging up. So
Wow.
they are popping off these movies back to back to back. And after Avatar 2, I think a lot of fans are ready for the next one, you know? After Avatar 1 was such a great standalone movie. It didn't necessarily need a sequel, but now after Avatar 2, we are ready for Avatars 3, 4, 5. We're ready to go.
Yeah, this kind of felt like the Chamber of Secrets to Harry Potter. Like, this one was like, this is the part one. Like, this is when shit is going to start going down now. We're going to fill you in, though, in this first, like, 45 minutes and just tie up some loose ends and bring in some new character names and show you some new animal noises that they make. They were making weird-ass noises. And I'll tell you what else, bro. I don't know if this was just my movie theater, but, like, there was some parts of the movie that I could have sworn I was playing a video game because the frame rate would change. I know that's a stupid talk, but like I felt like I was watching a video game cutscene and then it would cut back to a normal frame rate, like a normal movie frame rate. It's very weird. I don't know if you guys had the same problem, if you guys had that problem at all, but it felt like the movie would literally change cameras, but not to the point where it's a different camera. It would change camera frame rates and it just hurt my head and it hurt my brain, and it really made me feel like I was watching a movie. That was my only complaint. I don't know if it was just my theater. Did that happen to you guys?
I agree too. There was parts when I was watching this movie where it like the frame rates would drop a little bit, and it would feel at certain points like I'm watching a video game cutscene. But again, for this entire movie to be nearly all CGI, like this is all fake, like you forget about that as you're watching this 3-hour movie. And I think, you know, in the long run, this movie, and just, yeah, judging off of the first Avatar movie and now this one, it will be remembered primarily more for the visuals than it will for its story. But at the same time, you know, this is a movie you got to watch in theaters. And I feel like now in today's day and age, post-pandemic, coming off of the rise of streaming services, like movie studios are prioritizing making films that are going to get people out into theaters. And this is a movie that you should go out there and watch in theaters. You know, that you can.
Matt, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna come at you here. This story was way better than the first one.
No, for sure. I agree.
The story of this one was way better. Like the story on this one was actually like interesting. The first one I would say is more of a visual spectacle, but this one shat on it visually and story wise. I think this is the superior Avatar film so far, without a doubt.
Well, another thing too that we got to talk about is that I think the first Avatar movie is so underrated in terms of the story. I think, again, it's just the first Avatar was so game changing. It was the biggest movie of all time, but because it came out all the way back in 2008, we don't remember like how good the story actually was. The first Avatar story was really good. This Avatar story, again, I thought it was more focused on world building and setting up the future and building the franchise instead of actually, you know, getting down to the nitty gritty of what is pushing the story along. So man, overall, y'all got to go watch the Avatar: The Way of Water, biggest movie of the year.
I admittedly have not watched it yet. That's
well,
my silence.
Yeah.
Hey.
Maya still gotta watch it. Maya's gotta watch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish too.
I felt like you were advertising it.
If y'all need to go watch one movie during this holiday season, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish over everything. Trust, Gio.
That's
I'm
my
serious.
Anticipated December film.
I haven't seen Puss in Boots, but I'm starting to wish that I seen it over Avatar 2. That doesn't mean Avatar 2 was shit, but Puss in Boots has too much hype on it. I gotta see what this talk is about. I love Shrek 2. People are saying it's on par with Shrek 2, so that's it. That's all I need to hear.
I will only be seeing Puss in Boots over Avatar solely because just how much James Cameron has been talking. Like you saying, like Matt saying, "Oh yeah, you have to watch it in theaters." I was like, "Damn!" I was waiting for Disney Plus.
I'm like, it's hard to watch any Avatar 1 or 2 out of the theater. Like I have not seen Avatar since I seen it in 2009 when I was 10 years old. So, I mean, I'll probably won't rewatch it again. The second one I will, but Puss in Boots, that looks like a movie you want to see in the theater, at home, on your iPhone.
Absolutely.
It
It
looks
looks so
legit.
gorgeous. It looks so gorgeous, especially with the animation style that they switched up to.
Mhm.
I like now what the crossover effect of Into the Spider-Verse did in terms of like how animated films are starting to look more like comic sketchy. You've seen it with Intergalactic on Netflix, so I'm really excited for the animation.
Honestly, Maya, I thought of Spider-Verse while I was watching Puss in Boots. I was like, this quite literally is a drawing come to life. It is art come to life. And man,
From the trailer
Spider-Verse,
alone, I'm so
yeah, no,
excited to see it.
no, I mean the Rotten Tomatoes came out today, and Puss in Boots has higher critic ratings than Avatar: The Way of Water, which was so funny because I saw a tweet that
Absolutely.
was like, imagine spending 10 years making Avatars 2, 3, and 4, just 2, 3, 4, and 5, just to get blown away by Puss in Boots 2. Um,
Puss in Boots too. I'm hoping that like box office wise, it is just like it's crazy because in terms of DreamWorks promoting the film, I haven't seen much of like, talks about it, trailers for it. It's obviously just been the Shrek fan base, oddly enough. So I'm hoping that it does the money amount that it's receiving in terms of critics because it's just I'm so excited.
Guys, this Thursday, like today and tomorrow and this weekend, like there's so many movies out. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to see. I'm so overwhelmed that I don't want to see any movie because there's too many movies to see. Like I wish there was 10 of me so I could see every one of these movies.
we also have Glass Onion coming out too on Netflix. That's gonna be a big one. Maya, have you seen Glass Onion?
I have not. I have not seen Glass Onion. I wanted to see it in theaters, but bro, he is definitely right in terms of too many movies coming out, the overwhelming feeling of like I don't want to miss out. So I'm excited to watch it on Netflix. That is also another one of my anticipated December films. So I'm ready.
Yeah, no, Glass Onion was fire. I really liked it. It's in my honorable mention of top 5 movies of the year. I would put it probably at like 7 or 8 or 6, somewhere in there. Puss in Boots stays in the top 5. Again, even though because we talked about this on the last pod, like our top 5 movies of the year, and obviously I hadn't seen Avatar. Still, like after watching Avatar, Avatar isn't in my top 5. I don't even think it's in my top 10, but I still think it's I still think it's a good movie. Really enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm ready for Avatar 3. Now it's time to move on to nitty gritty, Maya. What the hell is happening
Bombshells.
at DC Studios, bro?
That is the question everyone is waiting for. What is happening at DC Studios? Let us in, let us in, let us in.
Over the past 2 months, since James Gunn and Peter Safran were hired as the CEOs of DC Studios, it has been a war zone on social media. They've gone to work. You know what I'm saying? James and Peter
Absolutely.
have gone to work. Since they have been hired, we've gotten news that Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward. Henry Cavill's no longer Superman. It was just recently announced that The Rock is no longer Black Adam. And now there's kind of just a lot of uncertainty in terms of how they're going to move forward with the DC universe, because James Gunn has confirmed that they aren't going to do a full reboot where everyone is going to get recast. Some actors playing certain characters are going to stay. And yeah, in January, they're going to announce a few new DC projects that are part of the plan for the new DCU. And right now, we're just at a point where things are very uncertain. But I think after January, after we have a nice roadmap to look forward to and get actually more details on what is happening with this universe, who they're moving out, who they're keeping, then I think, things will start to chill out a bit. Actually, it's the DC fan base. Things are never going to chill out. After
I
what we've
feel
been through for 10
so
years.
bad. I feel so bad for James Gunn only because like the DC fan base is a very hard fan base to please. He came in at a time where we just started to think that we were getting like on a high note. So DC fans were kind of happy with everything that was going on with Black Adam. Then he was just like, yeah, Thanos snap, everything's gone. Erase your brain. So I definitely that's why I haven't been so hard on James Gunn. A lot of people have been like, well, I hope I can say this, you're dick riding, or like, um, you are just trying to get in good with like James Gunn and everything that he's doing. But I actually understand or see the definite challenge that he has, especially when you have Snyder fans who just thought they were going to be coming back to DC because Henry did all of this coming back, and then you had Wonder Woman, and then you had the Flash, which we were going to get a Wonder Woman cameo, we were going to get a Henry cameo, we were going to get a Ben Affleck cameo as well. So like all of Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to come back in the Flash. Snyder fans were definitely, oh yeah, we're back in this game. And then James Gunn was just kind of like, yeah, no, you're not.
Every single DC fan, I think we all got to recognize that there's truly like there was no winning in James Gunn's position, you know, because a lot of us there's been a lot of people saying that, yo, they should bring back Henry Cavill as Superman. They should, you know, reboot this, reboot that. They should just completely start fresh from scratch. So there's been so many, the fandom has been so divided and so divisive after the past 10 years that there truly was no winning for James Gunn in his position. And my moving forward, I think the best case scenario is for them to reboot everything after they said Henry Cavill's done. That's it. I think
the
that's
Suicide
it.
Squad alone.
You gotta blow up the universe.
No,
because look, this is what's gonna happen. If you're gonna recast Henry Cavill, the chances are pretty. I mean, as of right now, the chances are pretty high that, or it looks like they're going to at least recast the Justice League. Gal Gadot gone, Ben Affleck gone, Ezra Miller gone, Jason Momoa, he'll probably get recast as like Lobo or something. But as of right now, I think we can all confidently say that all signs are pointing to them recasting the main Justice League. Knowing James Gunn, he will most likely keep the Suicide Squad. He'll most likely keep John Cena as Peacemaker. But here's I guess my problem with that, because then it just, in my opinion, if the point is to start fresh, you cannot keep one foot in and then keep one foot out. You can't take a shit on two toilets. You either got to go off for the reboot and start completely fresh. Oh, and to me, them announcing that Henry Cavill is done, that was the announcement of like, all right, that's it. We're actually gonna start fresh. But now, you know, James Gunn has confirmed that there's gonna be some actors that stay. We're not rebooting everyone. We're not recasting everyone. And now I think that muddles the waters a lot. Again, we don't know what the future is gonna look like as of right now, and we're waiting to hear more on what the future is gonna look like. But it's gonna be like, let's say they recast Batman and we get a new younger Batman, which the Batman is an entirely different situation, because are they really going to start fresh with a new Batman when we just got Robert Pattinson? You know, like, how does that make sense?
From what James Gunn said alone with just the Clark Kent story, how he said it's not going to be a origin story. It's just going to be like him in his youth, you know, basically like prime Superman, if we want to say that. So I can definitely see them doing that again. They tried that with Ben Affleck, you know, no origin, kind of just throwing Ben into the waters and just having DC fans who know DC just connect with whatever the hell is going on. And that didn't really go so well. I don't see James Gunn really trying to touch any Justice League characters anytime soon, kind of like how Kevin Feige is with like the mutants, because again, Justice League sadly has gotten played out due to all of the material that we get, because it's not just the DC universe. You know, we also have the DC AU. Like, we have the animated movies, we have the animated shows, we have so much different DC content, which should have been Warner Brothers' big boost in terms of their theater movies, except their theater movies did bad. And now we've been having this long fight with what we want from the Justice League, the tiring of whether we should use the Justice League. We just got the Justice Society of America, you know, so I don't really see him touching those big characters anytime soon. If he's smart, he will just stick with just the Superman story and not really mess with anyone else. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, no. I completely disagree on that point. I think we need to see a Justice League done properly. We need Superman back on the big screen. It's been, you know, a decade since we last got a solo Superman story. Obviously we're going to continue to get Batman movies with Matt Reeves, and he's doing that. But like, I think again, I don't even think they should just completely start fresh and start with like kind of the Marvel route with like a Superman solo movie, then a Batman solo movie, then a Wonder Woman, then a Flash. Nah, I think they should start with like kind of just the universe, kind of like how DC Super Pets started off, where it kicked off with the universe already being established, with like these heroes and these characters already being established. So I think with the new DCU, it should be like that. You know, we should not have to wait 20 years for them to build up Robin for us to get like a Teen Titans. James Gunn clearly said that he confirmed on Twitter that Justice League Unlimited and Young Justice were inspirations for his plan for the DCU. So that's super exciting to me. That's like one of the best pieces of DC news we've gotten recently, because now, like, I want to see the Teen Titans. A lot of us want to see the Teen Titans on the big screen. A lot of us want to see Batman with Robin, and it actually seems possible now. So, but I don't think we can really get
which
there.
Which is why I'm kind of saying that he's not going to dive into the just obviously a Justice League movie. I think that would be like a really stupid thing to do for him to just, oh, hey, we're going to have a Superman movie and then go back to Justice League, because it feels like you're retracking the Snyder verse footsteps and how they failed. I feel like for him, it would be obviously a Superman movie and then maybe a Teen Titans movie or a Young Justice movie where we know that obviously these superheroes exist, like in a universe where obviously we know Justice League is a thing, we just haven't seen them yet. You know, kind of like Peacemaker. We knew Justice League was out there. We didn't see them until we saw their silhouettes, and even then, you know, it was still just kind of like, okay, cool, more Peacemaker.
Guys, I think James Gunn is killing it right now. Everybody can shit on him and say whatever they want about James Gunn, but this is the exact reason why they picked him to be the leader of DC. They needed someone with thick skin that was able to make tough decisions, that no matter who was in position right now, there's going to be haters. There's going to be hundreds of people that are saying, oh, that was a shit move. Why did you do that? Nobody, the way DC is right now, it's so in crumbles. It's so all over the place. There's so many different divisions that it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to piss someone off now, because now DC at this point has segregated fan groups for each different genre of everything they did. Matt Reeves' universe, the DCEU, there's a fan for each Zack Snyder stuff. There's a fan for each thing right now, and haters for each thing. So it doesn't matter what James Gunn was to do right now. There's going to be people that hate it, but I respect the shit out of him. I think that this is exactly what DCEU needed, and this is why Warner Brothers and Discovery put this guy in charge, so we could just start over. There's too many loose ends to tie in right now, and at this point, it just seems like the best thing to do is to start all over. Start with a Superman, start with a Batman, start with everything. Am I saying I'm happy about it, that those guys are not going to be those characters anymore? Absolutely not, because like I said last episode, I think Ben Affleck was the best looking on-screen Batman ever. I think Henry Cavill was the best looking on-screen Superman ever. I think Gal Gadot was the best Wonder Woman ever, forever, for the rest of eternity. No one's going to be better than Gal Gadot. It sucks, but we're playing catch up right now. They're trying to play catch up with Marvel and what they're got going on, and I feel like the best way to do it is just pretend like everything we did just didn't happen. Just let it go and start fresh and try something new. And I think they should do like what Matt said, piece by piece, solo movie by solo movie, and just slowly tie it all in. What happens to Peacemaker, or what happens to all these people? I don't know. I feel like James Gunn might be a little biased there, because it is his property and it is the most praised stuff that came out from DC. So he might be a little biased and keep his shit around. But I think it might be best to just restart entirely.
It was also something, yeah, no, I absolutely, I agree. And in terms of like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, it was also something that he enjoyed. You know, he was excited to come to DC to continue these projects, only to be like, okay, well, now you have to be in control of everything going on. So I can definitely understand and see why he would be a little biased. And I a good nod to him for what he's been doing with the former DC actors, in terms of trying to give them at least some type of privilege or job with DC still. You know, Ben Affleck's in works of possibly directing a DC movie. You have Jason Momoa, who might play Lobo, still have a job. I don't know if he's going to want to do something with Gal. I don't know if something has been talked over about that, but he's obviously still trying to make up for just rushing in and taking these jobs, which is something that a lot of people should be applauding for.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even with the Henry announcement, they still said that, you know, they're still looking for you know, a place for Henry in like a new role or something like that. I don't think we're going to see Henry Cavill in a different DC role. I think Henry Cavill is If he's not playing Superman, he's dosing out on DC, which
Yeah.
as he should.
No, he was
as he should.
embarrassed. Like,
Yeah, no,
that was
for sure, for sure. And look, that's I guess that's like a positive thing about James Gunn as a leader, because for the longest time it's felt like ever since the Justice League Abomination in 2017, it's felt like Warner Brothers has just been trying to appease so many different types of fans. That's why we haven't had a clear future. You know, if like Justice League bombed and then they're like, boom, fire Zack Snyder. We're moving forward with all of that. Then in 2020, they're like, boom, we're doing the Snyder cut and possibly bringing back some of the Snyder's Justice League characters. Now they're like, boom, let's freaking blow this up. But now they have a leader in James Gunn and Peter Safran, who have been in the game for a very long time. And again, James Gunn has made it very clear that he's not, he understands that there's going to be people that don't like his decisions. But at the end of the day, like every decision that they make is for the future of DC and serving the characters and the story that they're trying to build. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I understand that James Gunn came into DC with the Suicide Squad, and the Suicide Squad is one of the best DC movies. Peacemaker is one of the best DC things. I think it's the besides The Boys, it's the best superhero show of the year. Peacemaker blows out all of Marvel's Disney Plus shows with ease, in my opinion. And now James Gunn he's not just, you know, the lead storyteller for the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Now James Gunn is the lead storyteller for all of DC. So if you're gonna fire Henry Cavill and if you're gonna want to start fresh with the universe, bruh, I'm sorry, you cannot keep cannot keep someone. Look, hold
alone.
Up. Let me talk. You cannot keep, and look, like I just said, I love the Suicide Squad. I love Peacemaker. I adore Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. But how the hell are we gonna reboot the DCU and recast Batman and Superman, and then you're just gonna have Harley Quinn there, she's had an entire story with Jared Leto's Joker, with Ben Affleck's Batman. Peacemaker, he met the damn Justice League and interacted with Jason Momoa's Aquaman and Ezra Miller's Flash. I understand that Henry Cavill was just a silhouette, Gal Gadot was just a silhouette, but that makes zero sense to me. And if the goal's to start fresh, we gotta cut it all off. You know what I'm saying? We gotta start fresh. You cannot keep one foot in, one foot out. And to me, when they announced that they're starting fresh with Superman, if you're starting fresh with the heart, soul, and face of the DC universe, everything else after that gotta start fresh too.
Let's just focus on Matt Reeves' Batman. Let's just focus on the Joker and Joker 2. You know what I mean? Obviously, those are the things that everybody's excited for. Those are the best, highest quality stuff that DC fans have to look forward to, and the Peacemaker show. So just focus on that. Take your time. Don't rush into something again. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't rush into a reboot. Don't rush into these things. Let's just keep doing what works right now. And what's working is those shows. And I just say, just keep focusing on the independent solo films like they have. I mean, I'm starting to feel fatigue. I'm the biggest Marvel fan in the world. And even I'm starting to feel fatigue of the overlapping and the forceful connection. Maybe it's just time to just start focusing on the solo projects now and just slowly by surely develop this into something more beautiful. I think that's what they need to focus on. And I personally think that's where James Gunn is going. And that's why I respect his decision.
For a fact. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, this is amazing news. Like, DC finally has a slate. I think in January, a lot more people will be on board with the plan, because that's the thing. And I think that's why the DC fan base is so heated right now. And it's so like, it's very easy. It's like a ticking time bomb. It's like so easy to trigger the entire DC fan base. It's because after everything we've been through for the past 10 years, our one piece of like celebratory hope, we just had that like 2 months ago with Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, and the entire world was rejoicing with the return of Henry Cavill as Superman. But now you're just like, Wonder Woman 3 canceled, Henry Cavill done, The Rock done, you know, all of this done. We're heading to a reboot. That's the thing, is that right now we don't really have anything to really look forward to in terms of the interconnected DCU. So once we get a grasp of what that's going to look like, then I think, again, we have something to look forward to. But right now, DC is in a space where they're just like axing so many different things where it's just like, yo, what the hell? Like, we just got Henry back? Like, what do we look forward to right now? You know what I'm saying?
Idris Elba's Bloodsport. Woo!
Guys, Maya is the biggest Idris Elba Bloodsport
I
stan.
will not lose that. You're no. I will not lose John Cena. I have not got to see them interact. I was waiting literally during the Peacemaker watch. I was saying like if Idris Elba just pops in and like we get like this Peacemaker versus Bloodsport fight, I'm so ready for that. Idris Elba was talking about how he's working with projects with DC. So I don't want to lose my hope of what was amazing villain casting in terms of the Suicide Squad because you're mad that Henry's gone.
Nah. Look,
No.
Maya. If they're gonna move forward with like a reboot of some kind, and Jason Momoa is out as Aquaman and he's gonna come play Lobo, give Idris Elba a bigger role than Bloodsport. Give him a role where he can have an actual solo movie. They're not gonna greenlight a Bloodsport movie.
Can become his own person. Like, come on,
that is not an IP for a movie.
Listen. We leave the Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad alone. James Gunn had a future plan for them, and who knows, maybe what he has in store for the new DCU was already in lines of what he was doing with Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. That is what I'm hoping for. Now, I also want to bring up the fact that I feel like, low-key, somebody in Warner Brothers does not like James Gunn because the sabotage has been to a max. Majority of the information that we have found out about everything that was DC was all like rumors or an inside source. James Gunn has never been able to actually bring all these cancellations up the way that he wanted to. I'm sure in January he would have had like a nice little, oh boom guys, Henry's gone, but hey look, we have a new Superman project that's in the works and all that stuff. So I personally just think that someone in Warner Brothers was definitely just like, fuck you, I wanted that job, now I'm gonna ruin everything that you had going on. I'm not going to say Dwayne, but I'm glad that they had a little conversation and they pieced it together. And, Black Adam is probably still existing in the multiverse. With Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, they can always be multiversal projects. This can always lead into the big bang that is DC's multiverse, because that is possibly way better than Marvel's multiverse. And you have characters who are easy to pull over. Margot, I'm not sure if she's staying as Harley Quinn. I don't know if they would keep that going specifically because, like you said, all the projects that she has been in. But again, the smaller characters like Ratcatcher, Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man is dead, but King Shark, all of those, all those minor characters can definitely be pulled over and have some type of funny interaction with whatever is new that James Gunn is making.
Guys, I know this is a little off topic, but am I the only one that's finding it a little bit funny how all these actors are just like going into these meetings and then they're just posting up like these Instagram posts after they get fired? It's like breakup notes. It's like dates like they're going on. Hey everyone, just want to let you guys know it is not working out for me. I am not coming back. Like everybody's being pulled in slowly by slowly and just like totally just getting shat on and fired like one by one. It's sad, but it's kind of funny at the same time to watch all these actors just put up like these breakup notes about how like they're fired.
It's the YouTube couples. They're like, hey guys, I got information. James Gunn and I talked. Yeah. As soon as you hear James Gunn and him had a conversation, you're like, okay.
Yeah. It's like they're doing it on purpose to send hate to James Gunn. Like, hey guys, I just lost my job. I got no salary coming in. Everybody go shit on this guy.
And
we need to talk.
And yeah. you're mad. We need to.
Everyone else.
You need to edit that with James Gunn in the background.
Oh my god, it's like James Gunn in it, and it's just like the YouTube. It's like a YouTube response video. We need to talk. ...
Guys, that would affect me so much emotionally. Like I would go home after that meeting and cry like a little boy. If I was
I would have texted Dwayne, like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, like why did you make me do this shit? Like, guys, that's gotta have some kind of like mental stipulation after. Like that's gotta affect you emotionally.
It puts a bad taste in your mouth.
Like you're going, you're not, you're going, you're not, you're hyped, you're not. It's like, I don't know, man. Like if I was Henry Cavill, I would legit be crying. Like legitimate. Like not like his career is over. It's Henry Cavill. The guy's talented and shit. But it's just like
He has the Enola universe.
it hurts. Like, am I Superman or not, guys? Why do you guys keep doing this to me? Leave me alone.
Look, and now he's doing a Warhammer 40K on Amazon Prime, and you know,
He's
props to him.
Sherlock Holmes.
Any Sherlock Holmes, but there's never, you know, besides maybe James Bond, there's never gonna be another character. There's no character that's bigger than Superman, dude. Superman is quite literally the biggest like one of the biggest characters like ever created. So, you know, it just sucks for Henry, man. And on top of the fact that he didn't leave The Witcher because of, you know, coming to play Superman, he left The Witcher because of creative differences with the writers and the way they were heading in the show. But it sucks that he just left The Witcher, and now, you know, another one of his gigs just completely got pulled right under him. And rip Henry, man. Rip Henry. And I feel really bad for Henry, man. And you guys, bro, everyone knows I love Henry Cavill with every fiber of my being. But at the same time, at least we finally have a future for Superman. That's like the silver lining for me. That's why I'm still excited, because, like, bro, again, the last time we had a Superman movie was 2013, and we have not known, there has not been a future for this character like for the past 5-6 years, which is just pure insanity to me. DC moved so quickly after the Justice League debacle. They moved so quickly into getting Matt Reeves, getting Robert Pattinson, moving forward with the Batman reboot, and it was freaking amazing. Like, everyone loves the Batman, but they let Superman sit on the sidelines for so long, and then Henry came back for a little Black Adam cameo, which was awesome. But now the rug got pulled. But at least there's a future for Superman. You know, there's at least. I'm saying that Henry
Cavill, Matt. Hear me out. I'm saying that Henry Cavill should pull a Dwayne Johnson, make his own production company, and make his own solo Superman movie. Get his own crew. Even if it's not marketed as Superman, just like make off-brand logos, just out of spite because of what they did for him, because he deserved it, his own movie anyway. So just make your own. You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't want to watch that?
Every Halloween, every Halloween he'll just dress up as Superman, just to remind people. Every Halloween.
All right, now speaking of the Maya, do you want to give your final take on this?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I do feel informed in terms of Henry, that this is kind of like how Ben Affleck felt with the whole Zack Snyderverse, the whole Josh Whedon thing, because he, for the longest, was like, yeah, I don't want to play Batman anymore. You know, it puts a bad taste in your mouth when you just have a role that's so big. You have fans that are so needy, and then the production behind it is so weak that it looks bad on you. I can imagine that this is how Henry is definitely feeling.
100%.
What's ironic is that Ben Affleck is actually going to have an ending for his character. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. Ben Affleck was the first one of like the original Justice League cast he was the first one to really jump ship. And now he's the one that's going to have the send off, which is just crazy. But, you know, good for Ben Affleck. You know, he did his thing, and now he's going to, you know, he's in talks to direct the future DC project. So Ben Affleck, you know, things worked out for him in the long run. But speaking of Batman in general, we got to talk about some Oscar nominations, because, guys, Maya and I have a bet going on for the Oscars this year. Maya is the Batman stan. I love the Batman too, but Maya swears that this movie is going to obtain 5 Oscar nominations this year. Now, I don't believe in the Academy and the people who vote for these projects. I don't believe in them that much to give a superhero movie, because we all know there's a stipulation. There's kind of like a stigma in Hollywood and award season when it comes to superhero movies. And the Batman is it's like a film. You know what I'm saying? Like, it stands out amongst the traditional regular superhero movie. So I don't think that the Batman is going to get 5 Oscar nominations. As of right now, with the Oscar shortlist nominations that just got announced yesterday, the Batman is currently on 3 Oscar shortlist nomination lists. And then on January 24th, they're officially going to announce all of the nominations for the Oscars. But Maya, give me your thoughts on the Oscar shortlist nominations and the Batman.
I'm 2 away from 5. I have 3 right now. So I'm chilling. Costume design, he's getting that. It doesn't matter. I'm really hoping for production and maybe cinematography. But like you said, with how the Oscars, just how the shortlist is looking, they're definitely They're definitely scheming. Okay, the snub that was best original score. First of
Insane.
all, this score got a Grammy. I just remember that. It was nominated for a Grammy, but not an Oscar. You're telling me that the musical version of the Oscars was able to acknowledge this movie, this film, but not the actual like movie awards? I mind blown. I'm
How is
so
this? How
mind
is this
blown.
blowing your mind, though, Maya? Leonardo DiCaprio was shat on for like 20 years, and the guy went on a streak of some of the best movies you'll ever watch in your life, but he wasn't even nominated all those years. Oscars are weird in terms of like how their award system works.
Here's my thing, right? The Batman was the like oh, in terms of nominations, original score was the only thing that I feel like everyone everywhere, no matter where you were, was just like, oh yeah, the Batman's got that. Like you can't look at a Batman picture and just not hear the doom, doom, doom. Like it's just in your head. It's embedded. That was a sound that was revolutionary. And it got best sound. It got what else did it get? I think it got best editing.
No, so it got best sound, it got hair and makeup.
Best, yeah, hair and makeup, and then was it? Are you sure it wasn't VFX?
Oh yeah,
I
and
believe
visual
it was
effects.
VFX.
Yeah. Those are
Yes.
the three shortlists that it ended up on. But remember, these shortlists aren't guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Because for something like best sound, they could snub that when it comes to the actual nominations on the 24th.
They won't. They
Wait,
won't. I know that they won't.
hold up.
In my heart, I feel it.
I'm not signing with Matt on this one, but I'm just saying don't get your hopes up too high because the awards, they're so biased, they're so picky. Like I said, Leonardo put his heart out there for 20 years, and then the guy got eaten by a bear alive, and it's like, all right, yeah, we'll give it to him now. He got eaten by a bear for this shit. Let's just give it to him and then get him out of the way now. So don't get your hopes up too high, but I'm rooting for you.
Maya, what are like the terms of our bet again? So if the Batman what are the terms of the bet?
The terms is if the Batman gets 5 nominations or more, I win. I don't know what I win, but I have bragging rights. If it doesn't, and I believe if it gets less than 5, you win. Less than 5 or none, you win. But like I said, I have high hopes in the Batman. Absolutely. That is my film of the year. I don't care what anyone says. That is still at my number 1. It was an experience.
Let's make this bet a little more interesting.
Everyone says that.
Forget about money. Forget about any of that. The best way to hit someone up in a bet is with their pride, right? With their confidence. I say you guys do something with like a social media picture. Like if someone wins, you got to change your icon pic to whatever the other guy wants, or something like that. Something.
Bet on that.
That's what I would do.
Bet on that.
Okay.
I'll bet that.
Bet on that.
That's light. That's
I'll
light.
bet on that.
Profile
Absolutely.
picture.
Hey,
profile picture for 24 hours.
Yes, I will literally change my profile picture to the soups.
Okay, nah.
Or just the words like soups 1. Soups 1. Soups
right.
W.
Yo, look, profile picture and bios. So
all right.
That's so light though. Look, the last bet Maya and I made, she bet that the Batman was gonna make $1.5 billion at the box office. And
I was betting $1 billion, and then I felt cocky with 1.5. My bad. HBO Max. Fuck you guys. Whatever.
And then she had to shave her head, but I felt really bad, so I just like didn't let her.
Shit, I'm talking about profile pictures. I'm talking about profile pictures. You made her shave her head. Oh my goodness.
That's what the bet was on.
He's a little
it was
sadist.
Like, all right.
This profile picture is nothing.
Yeah. No, we're definitely chilled out since our last bet. It did, yeah.
It was
definitely chilled out.
Specifically, it was to shave my head and to dress as Charles Xavier for Multiverse of Madness.
Did you do it?
No, I couldn't find a suit. I did cut my hair because for the Selena Kyle like trip, hello. But for the Multiverse of Madness, I was like, yeah, you crazy.
Oh, shit.
That was so much fun. That was funny. Yeah. Okay. Now we also got to talk about a little Spider-Verse trailer. We got a brand new trailer for Across the Spider-Verse. Crazy. Since the trailer came out, they've released a couple of different posters for the movie. And through the international posters, it's been confirmed, and we've already gotten our first looks at the spectacular Spider-Man who's coming back. And then we also have the Insomniac Spider-Man from the PlayStation games. So
Forget
this
that.
trailer,
Ben
Riley too, Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet
Yeah,
Spider.
there are so many people. There's so many spiders in this movie. Look, my one thing, and I think, it's really exciting to see someone like the Spectacular Spider-Man on the poster, but it's like, I don't want to get my hopes up because I feel like they could just be background cameos. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, okay, why would you bring back the Spectacular Spider-Man though? And just like keep him in the background like that? Like, I don't think they would necessarily do that, you know?
Absolutely, he's obviously gonna get like a 10-second like talk, just so they can have a vocal moment where you're just like, oh my god, they brought back the voice actor and the character. This is so awesome.
Like,
do I think he'll be a big plot in the story? Probably not.
No, I'm not saying that he will be a big part of the story, but I'm just saying to have scenes, where it's like it focuses on the Spectacular Spider-Man. To me, like to bring back someone like the Spectacular Spider-Man or the Insomniac Spider-Man that's so widely loved, especially with his upcoming game coming out next year. For them to just bring those characters into this movie and just have them be like background cameos where they don't even do anything or say anything, that's like equivalent to having Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in Secret Wars, and you just see him in the background and like nothing. We don't get a scene with him. We don't get anything with him. He's just there.
But it's fun. It's like when we all watch the trailer and we're just kind of like, whoa, wait a second. Is that Insomniac Spider-Man right there? Like, whoa. Is that Mary Jane Spider-Man? Like, it's those moments right there where you're just watching the movie and you're just like, bro, this film is definitely, I thought that No Way Home, no offense, would be the Spider-Man's Spider fans film. No Way, Across the Spider-Verse is definitely like a Spider fans film, just from everyone doing like the Easter eggs, the breakdowns of the poster.
Nah, the Easter egg and breakdown videos are gonna go crazy for this movie.
Yeah, 100%. Someone's gonna start a whole career just making Easter eggs for this one movie. It's almost like the studios was like, okay, let's give them Into the Spider-Verse. Oh, they liked that? All right, well, let's give them No Way Home, really blow their shit away. Oh, they liked that? Well, let's just go freaking nuts. Let's put every Spider-Man ever thought of in the world in this freaking movie. Let's give them what they really want. And that's like, while I'm excited for that, who isn't excited for that? A lot of Spider-Man fans in the world. I hope this isn't a fan service movie because the first one was so freaking good, guys. Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best Spider-Man stories of all time. Put me on a record saying that. Put that on the news boards. That is one of the, for me, it goes Spider-Man 2 into the Spider-Verse, like in terms of like the best Spider-Man stories ever told.
Mine's just Into the Spider-Verse. Like it's just that's in a league of its own.
Look, that actually leads into our next topic, which is what is the best comic book movie ever? I recently put up a poll on Twitter and it got over 35,000 votes of people voting between these four movies because I feel like the general consensus and the conversation when it comes to the best superhero movie ever usually comes down to these four movies: Into the Spider-Verse, Logan, The Dark Knight, and Infinity War. When it came to the poll, it actually tied between The Dark Knight and Infinity War. They both tied at 32% each. And then after that, it was Spider-Verse. And then at number 4, it was Logan. So
that's a shock.
Yeah, honestly, when I put up the poll, like I thought like Into the Spider-Verse was going to get an overwhelming amount of love because Into the Spider-Verse kind of is just like I feel like that movie's for everyone. Whereas like movies like Logan and The Dark Knight have a very niche audience. Kind of like the same audience as the Batman, where it's like they're targeted, Those films are targeted.
I feel like in terms of Into the Spider-Verse, because I have this conversation all the time. I love that movie. I think it's the best Spider-Man story ever told. I think it's the best Spider-Man movie. And honestly, now that I'm thinking like really hard, I would say that it's probably the best comic book film to be created because of just how special and unique they obviously Miles is his own Spider-Man, but he still kind of goes through the same tribulations as Peter Parker, and we get to see a bunch of different Peter Parkers and obviously Spider people, but they still make Miles like that centerpiece, that unique, his own way, his own story, his own form. The Leap of Faith is probably one of the best type of superhero power up tribulations, whatever you want to call it. It is one of the best suit ups ever. But I feel like when people talk about Into the Spider-Verse, there's a lot that holds it down. One, it's not Peter Parker, it's Miles. There's always going to be controversy around the legacy characters, especially when they're not. Two, it is a animated film. No matter what goes into par, it's animated, it's not live action, it doesn't have the same type of credibility. And then three, it didn't get promoted that well. Into the Spider-Verse wasn't a movie that like people were excited for when it first was rumored to come out, when it was about to debut. It was something that if you're a very deep Spider-Man fan, if you like the character Miles Morales, and if you keep up with somewhat movie news, hey, this movie's coming out, I'm gonna go see it. I remember when I watched it in theaters, my theater was practically empty for the first night and for the first week as well, because I worked at the movie theater at that time. And I was like, this is so crazy, because sitting in that movie theater watching that movie, I was like, this is one of the best stories ever. Why aren't people talking about this? Like, where is the hype? So I feel like when people take Into Spider-Verse into consideration, it's obviously always going to be downplayed, but it definitely is, story wise, animation wise, everything just perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I think Into the Spider-Verse, after giving it much thought, because and having that conversation with different people over the past 24 to 48 hours, for me, it kind of comes down to The Dark Knight and Into the Spider-Verse. They're both so great, but they're both so different. That's why it's just so hard to compare and pick one. But if I had to pick one, I would say Into the Spider-Verse is the best superhero film of all time. When it comes to like other films that I think belong in that conversation, I think Spider-Man 2 and No Way Home definitely belong in that conversation as well. I think No Way Home for me personally is my favorite Spider-Man movie, but I still think Into the Spider-Verse is the greatest superhero film ever. From the unique animation that absolutely changed the game, to the storytelling and the amount of characters it had to juggle. At that point in time, the conversation around like team up superhero movies, we were just coming off of Justice League, and everyone was like, yo, to do like a team movie to kick off a universe or to kick off a franchise, that's crazy. And Spider-Verse did it perfectly. Spider-Verse juggled so many different characters. And my kind of, like you said, with a legacy character like Miles being the main star in a movie like this, it's not like they tore down Peter Parker in order to uplift Miles. Miles uplifted the Peter Parker we already know and love and made him even better, which led to us loving Miles even more. And from Spider-Gwen to Spider-Ham to Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, such great castings all around the board. And then I thought Kingpin as the villain had such a compelling reason to do what he was doing, to be able to reunite with his wife and son. Like, that is a very compelling motivation as a character. And dude, every single time I rewatch this movie, it's just like every single scene matters. Every single scene has a purpose. It's a perfect movie in my opinion. I don't think there's a single thing I would change about Into the Spider-Verse that can make it worse or can make it better.
I'll be honest, Matt. You got that hoodie on. I thought you was gonna have a total different outlook. My only reply to both of you guys is I think it's about time you guys put The Dark Knight on your televisions again in 4K at the highest setting, at the loudest volume, throw everybody out of your house and watch it one more time, because I love Into the Spider-Verse. It's an unbelievable movie. It's one of the greatest. But guys, The Dark Knight is the godfather of superhero movies. It's literally the greatest superhero movie. There'll never be a better superhero movie than The Dark Knight. I'm sorry. It's not even debatable. The Dark Knight is number one.
Gio,
you can't put that Batman hoodie on and come in like that.
Gio, here's my rebuttal to that. I love The Dark Knight, and I totally agree with you. Like, if someone has The Dark Knight as their number one, I'm not going to argue against that. Like, that's totally valid. But I think we can both agree that when it comes to the greatest superhero movie ever made, The Dark Knight is more of a Christopher Nolan movie than it is a superhero movie. Like, I think The Dark Knight is one of the greatest movies ever made, period. But Spider-Verse, I think that is the definition of like the perfect comic book movie, superhero movie.
If you guys are going that route with it, like actual, like what it means to be a superhero film, like Superhero 101, and
just like the best superhero movie in the genre.
Okay, if you want to look at it that way, then yeah, probably Spider-Man is a better like superhero textbook movie. But
here, I'll make this argument.
ahead,
The Dark Knight is definitely a better is definitely one of the best superhero live actions. Absolutely. Like I am a Batman goon. The Dark Knight was definitely at my top for the longest. It was my number one movie for the longest, and then the Batman came and swept it away. But I can definitely give obviously Into the Spider-Verse its credit where it was going with the story that it was telling with the introduction and how it handled multiple characters. I think the Dark Knight does a really good job at handling obviously Bruce Wayne. Christian Bale is one of my favorite Batmans. He is my favorite Batman. Robert Pattinson. Yeah, okay. He was one of my favorite Batmans. I think it did a very good job at handling Two-Face. I think it did an amazing job with the Joker. Even with Morgan Freeman's character, Fox.
Lucius.
I forgot his name. Yeah, Lucius. Even with Lucius, I love the handling of all of those guys, but I do think that it lacked in terms of that romantic value that it tried to put inside of the story. The Dark Knight obviously has the best Alfred. No question there. It's the best Alfred. But there are points when every time I rewatch The Dark Knight, I'm kind of like, okay, I see definitely why people don't enjoy or love the movie as much as they did when it first came out. Because when it first came out, it was revolutionary. Nothing like that has ever done. The whole darkness in terms of a superhero film, the dramatics with the Joker, the two villain Spider-Man had like no. Did Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the first one, have two villains, or was it just Green Goblin?
It was just Green Goblin.
Yeah, so the whole like the two villain dynamic in terms of creating another villain, the spawn of all of that stuff was obviously its first time anyone could ever see it. But Into the Spider-Verse is just like music, soundtrack, score.
Dude, hold up. Maya. On the flip side though, dude, Hans Zimmer's score for The Dark Knight is perfect. That's one of the greatest superhero scores out there. And
beautiful.
Honestly, Maya, you might have just convinced me to put The Dark Knight at number one.
Guys, it's just
the writing of Joker as a villain, perfect, dude. Like the way he just outsmarted, the way Batman lost this entire movie. Like I remember watching The Dark Knight for the first time, and when Rachel died after her being like the preliminary love interest for Bruce and for Batman in Batman Begins and then The Dark Knight, when she died, dude, jaws were on the floor. That was so like, it was shocking. And then the writing of Harvey Dent, I think the actor, I forgot his name, the actor who played Harvey Dent, that's one of the greatest performances in a superhero movie. It just gets overshadowed because it's in the same movie as Heath Ledger. But
no, absolutely.
He was so fantastic in this movie. So, dude, now I'm kind of stuck. I'm gonna stand still between The Dark Knight.
That's why I was like, oh, I'm caught in a pickle. That's why I was feeling that too, because
guys, look,
The Dark Knight was my movie.
Opinion. It's opinion. We all could have our own opinion. It's fine. But all I'm saying is it's not even a debate, guys. I'm not gonna even go there with you guys. It's not a debate. It's just opinions, though. We're just giving our opinions. So I respect it. And it's not like it's totally invalid. It's not like you guys are 100 miles off field. You guys are in the ballpark. It's just, guys, I can talk. I can ruin our nights tonight. I can talk about that movie till I'm blue in the face.
Look,
no, honestly, I absolutely feel you.
Honestly, I think it just comes down to taste and vibe. That's what I think it comes down to. Because like, it comes down to preference. It really does. But yeah, I want to kick this one back to the listeners and to the people listening and to the people watching. What do you guys think is the greatest superhero film ever? Is it Into the Spider-Verse? Is it The Dark Knight? Is it Logan? Is it Infinity War? Is it another movie that we have not even talked about?
Go crazy, say Kick-Ass.
Bro, yeah, Chronicle. Like, let us know. Like, it doesn't even have to be Marvel and DC. Again, best superhero film ever. Let us know. All right, now let's move on to our final main topic, because this episode is dropping probably on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day. It's dropping on Christmas Eve, actually. So if you're listening, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you guys are spending it well. I'm grateful to be on this pod, spending the day with you guys at some capacity. Now it's time to talk about like Christmas movie recommendations. What are the types of movies should people be checking out to fit the vibe? You know what I'm saying? Because whether or not you celebrate Christmas, when it comes to wintertime, there's just like a vibe. Like there's just a vibe. Once we get past Halloween, Maya, what are some Christmas movie recommendations that aren't so popular? Because everyone knows Home Alone. Everyone knows.
Well, The
some like
animated The
Santa
Grinch,
Claus.
the animated The Grinch. That is I see
Okay.
so many people talk about the live action Grinch, but let's remember the animated. Obviously Narnia, Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's in snow. You got the whole snow battle. That is a must watch during winter. And then in terms of the Christmas theme, I had one more. Krampus. Yes, obviously. It's horror. It's Christmas. It's scary, but it's also like, oh, what a nice time to be around family and watch everyone die.
It's the best time to watch people die. Christmas time.
That's crazy.
Christmas spirit.
I'm no Home Alone in there. We don't like Home Alone.
That's just too
No.
mainstream. Like, look, hold up. We're like with the recommendations we're gonna give. I want to give people like the SoundCloud of Christmas movies. Like, what are some underrated things that aren't normally talked about? Because, like, bro, everyone knows Home Alone. Everyone knows, Miracle on 94th Street or something like that. Everyone knows the live action Grinch. Like, those are very popular. But what are some that like stand out to you? Gio, you put me on such a fire movie recently.
Oh, bro, I'm getting goosebumps all over my body right now.
You can talk about that one. You can talk about that one. Go.
Bro, I don't even want to talk too much about it. I'm not gonna make a big ass review. I'm just telling you guys to stop whatever you're doing on this Christmas day after this podcast. Go in front of the TV with your family, group them up, and put on Claus with a K. It's on Netflix. Guys, the freaking movie is amazing, guys. I
was thinking that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's Maya. Oh my goodness, guys. I cried on it. It was so
I watched
good.
it by mistake too. Like I had my nephew was watching Netflix and it was just on, and I was just like, huh, okay, a little Christmas animation. And then I was like, oh, this is good.
Oh my god, it's one of the best Christmas. It's the best Christmas movie of all time. Now you guys are gonna put this movie on and you're gonna push play. And it's going to be freaking depressing as shit. It's going to be like, what is this? I thought it was an animation for kids. I got my whole family here. Why is it so sad and dark? And it's just slowly, by surely, going to turn into this beautiful movie. Guys, it caught me by surprise. Highly recommended. My favorite Christmas movie of all time. Claus on Netflix. It's an animation, but it's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, guys, I recently watched that movie for the first time like 2-3 weeks ago. And oh my gosh, it blew me away. It's definitely a movie that's like, I would say more mature. It's more mature than what you would expect for like a Christmas movie Christmas movies are usually very like high spirited, super positive, super joyful. But Claus is like definitely a much more mature animated film, but man, it's just so good. It really is. And it just, I'm going to warn you guys ahead of time, because if you guys are watching this with family, it has a great ending. It really has a great ending. You're not going to be depressed at the end. But when it comes to my Rex, so Klaus, whatever you call it, that was one of them. And dude, this movie was just such a massive part of my childhood. It's a little mainstream. So for someone that's talking about the SoundCloud of Christmas movies, this one is mainstream. The Polar Express, dude. I love the Polar Express so much.
Oh my gosh.
No, because the thing is that I've been listening to the soundtrack to the Polar Express recently, and it slaps, dude. Like I remember watching this movie in like school during like Christmas time, like hot chocolate and cookies, and
they play that
holy
movie
cow.
so much.
Bro, it don't feel like Christmas till you hear Josh Groban singing that song.
Dude, Tom Hanks recently said that he thinks he's in like 4 good movies. Polar Express is one of them. That movie is so good.
Nah, I watched it recently too, so I agree with you. It's definitely not a SoundCloud movie though, bro. That shit.
Yeah, no. Polar Express is very mainstream.
That's the golden standard. It's Christmas time. Let's see that train. You know what I'm saying?
That's the first movie ABC Family's putting on TV.
Oh, on day one? Facts. On that countdown?
Day one.
See, on the countdown. I might be reminding them though for this year. Because they might we already know ABC is gonna play the Harry Potter trilogy, like entire franchise, like 40 times from now until Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, Polar Express is an all-time classic. Love that film.
That was the first movie, Matt, I seen in 3D in IMAX as a kid. It was the first movie I ever seen in 3D.
Did you watch it in theaters?
3D, in theaters. And bro, that snow was hitting me. It was hitting my toes. It was hitting my nose. I felt it on my body. That shit was awesome. And that animation at the time, it kind of looks like ass now, but at the time it was like, oh my god, it's so cool.
All right, look, and then I got two more on my list. I got Mickey's. This is like a two-parter. It's Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas and then Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. It's just like these are two separate animated movies that
Mickey
are like
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, dog. That's SoundCloud. You ever hear his SoundCloud
bro, you want to talk
rap?
about
Mickey
Christmas
Mouse's
stories?
SoundCloud rap?
Come on now.
Okay.
Bro, Mickey Mouse. He's talking about Mickey Mouse.
I don't know why I didn't expect that.
Z.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse with a Z. He's talking about the emo SoundCloud rapper. You don't know nothing about it. But
Look.
I agree.
Okay,
That's
Bro, nah, y'all want to talk about underground Christmas movies, dude? Good Luck Charlie, it's Christmas, bro. Good Luck Charlie, when they finally got a movie.
This man out.
Hold up. Maya, let me spit. Let me
Good
cook
Luck
for a
Charlie,
second. Good Luck Charlie was like one. Hold up. Good Luck Charlie was like one of the final good Disney Channel sitcoms before Disney Channel went into the dirt.
Bro, I'm going to sleep,
And then
man.
Good Luck Charlie finally got a movie, and it was a Christmas movie, and it's fantastic because the
I'm going to
entire Good
sleep.
Luck Charlie cast is so good. I love Good Luck
Bridget Mendler
Charlie.
was amazing. I love Good Luck Charlie as well. Christmas movie, would I recommend that to be watched? I'm not sure, but I absolutely agree. Good Luck Charlie is peak Disney Channel.
Facts. Good Luck Charlie. That was like one of the final Disney Channel shows that my family and I used to have on the TV and used to watch before we completely stopped watching Disney Channel. So shout out Good Luck Charlie, man. Now I want to talk, bro. Gio's sleeping out here. Bro, Gio, trust. Put on Good Luck Charlie. It's Christmas, and your children are going to love that film, and you're gonna be forced to watch it every year.
Nah, my kids won't be watching that. I'm out of here, sleeping.
Okay, let's talk about some Christmas movies that aren't necessarily Christmas movies, but they still fit the Christmas vibe. You know what I'm saying? Maya, what are some movies that come to your mind when we have this conversation, when we talk about that?
Into the Spider-Verse. Hello, it's snowing. It's the beautiful lights. We're in New York City. What other feel-good movie to have to just appreciate all of the people that are around you, as well as giving back to your community, than Into the Spider-Verse?
Christmas movie that's not a Christmas movie. Harry Potter, weirdly. I don't know. Something about Harry Potter. I don't know which one it was. I think it was the first one.
Bro,
It's the snow and the train and the getting to Hogwarts and the
That
darkness.
shit makes me want some hot cocoa with some marshmallows, man. I don't know what it is. I like.
Did
Harry
ABC just
Potter.
like brainwash you? ABC just brainwashed you into believing Harry Potter's a Christmas movie?
I think that could possibly be what it is, but I love Harry Potter so much. I don't care. I'll accept the brainwash. Let them wash my brain. It's cool.
All right. So when it comes to these types of movies, Interstellar, dude. Interstellar, love that film. Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's another one.
Oh, that's a good one.
These aren't Christmas movies. They have nothing to do with Christmas, but they're fire as hell and you should watch them regardless. In terms of movies that give off the Christmas vibe, I would say definitely Iron Man 3. That's one that's always brought up every single year. Batman Returns. You want to talk about an OG superhero movie? Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito as Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Batman Returns, it gets a lot of hate. But honestly, dude, I grew up loving those original Batman movies, even though despite how cheesy they were. Even Batman and Robin too. Let me throw that in the ring. Shout out Arnold.
I'm gonna say Batman and Robin.
Shout out Arnold.
Because Poison Ivy's just look, it's green and red. It's just like Christmas.
No, and Arnold as Mr. Freeze. All of his ice puns. That movie's hilarious. I don't care what anyone says. Shout out Batman and Robin. Shout out Batman Returns. And then the final movie I have on my list, which I really, really love this movie, Rise of the Guardians. This is the movie with Santa, Jack Frost, the Easter Bunny, Sandman, and they're basically like the Guardians, the Tooth Fairy, and they're like the Guardians that have to fight against this dude who's like trying to.
Is that a Christmas movie?
It's not a Christmas movie. It just has Santa in it, but yeah, it still gives off the Christmas vibe. So I love Rise of the Guardians. I think it's one of the more underrated animated films, especially comes from DreamWorks as well. And DreamWorks has a ton of like one-off animated bangers.
Puss in Boots. Boom, there you go. That's your holiday movie to go watch. You just get up, go to the movie theaters right now to watch Puss in Boots.
I gotta see this freaking movie, man. I gotta see this movie.
Top 5 film of the year. Best animated film of the year, period.
Not Super Pets?
Nah. I put Puss in Boots over Super Pets, but I love Super Pets too. That's a great film. Actually, that's a great Christmas movie too. Stream Super Pets on HBO Max. It's about friendship, family. You're gonna cry for sure. And with that being said, man, make sure to interact on all of our socials, guys. contribute to the conversation, to all of the conversations we've had today, make sure to leave some 5-star reviews on iTunes and Spotify. And Maya, do you want to give any final thoughts before we end today's episode 2 of the Let's Go Show?
This was a great experience. Thank you for having me, Matt. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation. Everybody, once again, go watch me. Also, Matt, January 24th, during the Oscars, Oscar Live, Oscar Bingo, we're playing. You have no choice. Boom. Yeah, but let's go, Soups.
All right,
Merry
shout
Christmas.
out Maya. Shout out to Maya. Thank you for joining us. And Merry Christmas to all of you guys tuning in. Thank you guys for joining us. And
Don't forget about the bet. You guys already forgot about it.
Oh my gosh.
Nah. The bet is still going to happen.
That's why January 24th, we got to play Oscar Bingo. So while the Oscar nominations are coming out, it's like, am I going to win? Or
We will. So we will see you guys next Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. And have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless.
Let's go!